Alright, hey everyone, Alex here. I'm gonna bring you spaghetti and meatballs today. So follow along with this recipe. It's gonna be very easy. One thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to be making my own meatballs and my own sauce. You can still follow along even if you're using store-bought sauce and store-bought meatballs. Let's get into the ingredients I'll be using today. Sauce. Tomato paste. 2 cans. Meat. This is about 5 pounds of ground beef. Probably not going to use it all, but we got enough just to be sure. Spaghetti. We're using San Giorgio's. I can't say this. In my family, we call it the red box. We're going to be using 2. It's also not just normal spaghetti. This is actually angel hair. All right, let's get to cooking. All right, so we got Trevor here that's going to help me make the meatballs because I kind of messed up my hand and it still really hurts. So he's going to make the meatballs. All right. Let me get you a knife, bud. Cut this open for you.
Oh, yeah, you cut that.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put the meat into a bowl to help mix it before we basically pat out the meatballs. All right. I think we should do a little bit more. Just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine right there.
You can save the rest for the next video.
Yep. All right, camera woman, can you grab that, please?
Yes, sir. Camera, mate.
Just set it on the table for right now. I'll find a Tupperware container real quick. All right. All right, now that we got our meat in the bowl, we're going to add some seasoning to it. Use whatever seasoning you like. This is my own little crazy concoction that I kind of put on everything. It tastes really good. Okay. Get the mixing now, bud.
Yeah.
Just start grinding it up and folding it.
Seasoned pretty good though.
Yeah, I know. It smells good.
Oh yeah. Gotta get your hands dirty. Yeah.
Stop. Alright, so you just want to incorporate your seasoning. If you're putting seasoning in it, I highly suggest you put seasonings in your food. Bland food is boring and you'll actually eat more if you don't have seasoning. Studies have shown that seasoned food, people tend to eat less because they feel more full. I believe that's, basically from the seasonings. Bland food, you'll just eat a ton of it because you never get that satisfaction of fullness. So your best bet is to mix it in well.
Yeah.
I think that's good. Yeah, let's add just a tiny bit more.
I'm not really talking much. I'm tired.
Yeah, someone was up till 4 in the morning and tried to call me at 4 in the morning knowing damn well I was asleep.
No, he was off. He doesn't stay up to 4 in the morning.
Not anymore. Alright. So once you get all this well incorporated and mixed up, we're going to get into patting out the meatballs. Alright. Let me get you a plate, sir, or another container for the meatballs. Just rinse this out real quick.
I'm pretty dumb, so it's gonna. My meatballs should look even.
They don't really have to look even.
I'm just gonna wing it.
Okay, I'll start taking your meatballs. That's dude. That amount that you just had earlier was perfect, but that's fine.
That's a good size.
So this is the size we're gonna go with. Probably do a little bit bigger too.
It's just gonna be random.
Yeah, basically it's just gonna be random. I say maybe $50 size is good. If any of you still remember what those were, probably most people don't. But $50 size is probably your best bet.
There's no size. All
right. We're not going to bore you with making all these. If you have frozen meatballs, go ahead and skip this part. All right. You don't have to worry about any of this. So we'll probably put a little time lapse up of him making the meatballs, and we'll see you. I guess I'll see you when we start the sauce.
Yep.
Alright, so meatballs look good. Thank you, Trevor.
No problem.
They look fine. Let me rinse my hands off again real quick. Hold on 1 second, guys. Okay. Alright. Meatballs look good, so we're going to start adding them to our baking dish because these are going to go in the oven. Now, if you're using like frozen meatballs, or if you're doing it this way, and let's say you did this the night before, you prepared the meatballs the night before, you could put them in the crock pot in the morning, and by dinner time they would be done. Just make sure you add plenty of sauce so they don't dry out in the crock pot. Dry meatballs suck. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm just going to keep layering them on like this, just making rows, probably tighter rows than this. Let me move some stuff around. All right, so I'm gonna put them in rows and just keep going. What we're gonna do after this is we're going to add the sauce to it. We're also going to add sauce to our other pan over here. Not this one. I don't know where this one's out. That's for the spaghetti. Oh, well, damn, Trevor. You made just enough.
Yeah, we made a lot.
Hell yeah, there we go. Okay. So now that the meatballs are in the pan ready to go, can the camera see that well? Okay. We're going to crack open, if my can opener will work. All right, there we go. All right, now that we got that open, we're going to put some of this in with our meatballs. Just gonna cover them just enough. I say that's pretty good on the coverage. Just add a little bit more, just to be safe. Again, you don't want dry meatballs. All right. Now, I think we're gonna go ahead and get these in the oven. Oh, wait. Sorry, getting a little ahead of myself. I'm going to be adding some red pepper flakes to the top of it, just to give them an extra spice. And then I'm going to add a little bit of extra of my seasoning that we put in the meatballs on top as well. Again, use whatever seasonings your family prefers. We kind of eat everything in this household, so. Bait going. All right, I'm gonna put mine in for 350. I'm gonna leave them uncovered. Probably also going to. Just gonna add something. Oh, I'm just gonna add a little bit more thyme. I don't have oregano right now. I'm out. So just add a little bit more thyme to it. And yeah, we'll get these in the oven. We won't bore you with that. We will get into the sauce now. I'm just gonna let the sauce simmer, so you'll see that here in a second. All right, so now we're over here at the electric skillet. This is what I'm gonna do the rest of my sauce in. Alright, so I'm going to put mine down probably about 200 degrees. I'll probably turn it down afterwards, but for right now, 200 degrees. We're going to add the rest of our sauce into this. It's not much. Most of it went into our meatballs. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get opening to our paste. I gotta get an electric can opener again. Alright. So, got our paste. I'm gonna put our paste into here. Just get you a spatula to make sure you get every bit of it out. You don't want none of that going to waste in the can. I am probably doing it a little high. Sorry, cameraman. Can't get those crisp shots. Alright. I'm going to open up our other jar of paste and get this one going. I should have step-by-step bubbles that you can follow along. You'll probably see them up on the screen here. So get all of the tomato paste out. Alright, now that's done, I'm just going to start mixing it in a little bit. I like a little bit of a thicker sauce to layer on top of my spaghetti. So that's why I use 2 cans of tomato paste. Just going to stir it up and let it get incorporated. Turn up my heat just a little bit. I think I got it at 250, 300 right now. You don't want to let your sauce burn. Burnt sauce is just going to taste terrible. Now, I'm not going to add any seasoning to this one because I've already added seasoning to the one with the meatballs inside of it. God, that sounds so wrong while I'm mixing it. Okay, so I'm going to turn down the heat now to just about 200 or warm, roughly. I don't know, it's between the two. I think that should be fine. I'm just going to let it simmer. I'll probably add a little bit of water here, actually. Let me grab a cup. Cool, that's done. Just a little bit of water, and most of that should steam off. So, oh, one thing I will add, let me grab out of my seasoning cabinet. I'm just going to add some black pepper. Now, if you were doing this with the jar sauce, you can doctor it up a little bit. Ooh. Sorry guys, pepper got to me. Okay, I'm gonna turn it down to warm now. I need to find my sugar to put in it as well. Now, if you are doing jar sauce, crack open the jar, put it in here, let it get nice and warm, just put it on low. Whether you're doing this on the stove or you're doing it on an electric skillet like I am, just make sure you're simmering it. You don't want to get it to burn. There's multiple ways to doctor it up. Add some oregano flakes, add your own garlic, add garlic powder, onion powder, whatever you prefer. You could even dice up some bell peppers into them. Just gonna keep it stirring. Actually, I might turn it off and just let it set in the warm pan. And when I need to, I'll probably just turn it back on to warm to let it warm up before I serve. Again, there are many ways to doctor this up. to suit your family's needs. Whether you could even just do it right out of the jar. That's what most people do. Fast, easy, simple. So if you're just doing it out of the jar and you're not going to do anything to it, put it in your pan, let it simmer again, leave it alone, then get cracking on your spaghetti. If you're not doing the meatball route, okay, let me do this. Let me do this another way too. If you're not doing the meatball route, get you a pound of ground beef, fry it up in your pan first, okay, then add your sauce. There's going to be your meat flavoring from that. I think we're going to get the meatballs in the oven. We'll get the spaghetti started in a little bit once, probably about 30 minutes after those guys get in closer to done. I'm going to let them cook for 30 minutes, maybe 45, just depends. I'll check them probably about the 25-minute mark and see what they look like. We will see you in a little bit. Alright, sorry for the little technical difficulty there for a second. We're back. So, water's on. We're going to let it boil, and then we're going to add our spaghetti. I'm going to pull out the meatballs here in a second. I'm just going to let them stay warm inside the oven. And I think we're good from there. Pretty self-explanatory for the most part. Once your pot gets to a rapid boil, what you want to do is you want to drop your spaghetti in. Alright? And I don't think we'll bore you with that. I mean, that's pretty easy. Once the spaghetti's in there, cook it for, depending on what your box says, I'm going to cook mine for like 4 minutes. Drain it, and then that's when you're ready to start plating. So we will see you back when we start plating. Alright, so here's what we got going on. We're going to start our plating deal. I'm going to start pulling out the spaghetti. I really need to get a spaghetti spoon, or I think that's what I call them. Pasta spoons, whatever. I really need to get one of those. So I'm going to start pulling it all out. Alright. Now I'm also going to grab 2 meatballs out. Oh, well, that's probably like 3 or 4. Anyway, I'm going to get those out. I'm going to put some of the juice from this, some of the sauce from this over top, and that's going to have some of that beef flavor. And then I'm going to take my other sauce and layer it as well. Alright. So there we are. I mean, it's pretty simple. Plating is pretty easy. You can add some garnishes, mozzarella on top. You could add your Parmesan, whatever. Another thing I would have done differently, but when we were at the store, we kind of forgot about it, is I would have made like homemade garlic bread to go with it. I mean, that's pretty easy and simple. Like I said, there are a couple different steps that if you're using frozen and store-bought sauce, that would be different. I'll probably put that down in the description. I'll make a little separate area in the description for you guys. If you're following along with this, yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. I'll have some bubbles for you guys to follow along with, and there we go. So that's what we got. Hope you all have a wonderful day.